All right, recording now. Oh, I can move this. No way. Awesome. What if, okay, that should be good enough. All right. All right. So we start.
Yo, 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 guys.
Okay.
What's going on?
All right.
Welcome back to the. Okay.
I want to, no, I was just talking to Steven after a week off. Was talking about all the stuff that's going on in LA, but that was maybe a more of a personal conversation. Um, but yeah, it's deplorable. But now we were talking about Stevens. Yeah, go on. I mean, you're already talking. You went to your Oxford graduation. Yeah,
Right. So I'd been at home for a few months before that. Uh, and I guess I didn't realize how much of the blender I'd kind of gotten into, you know,
yeah.
doing a lot of things
Dude,
kind of
I'm
on
like
repeat.
a savior, dude.
Yeah, you got the halo sanitizing. Um, yeah, doing pushing on the same path, even though it kind of wasn't working, you
Pushing
know.
P,
I was not pushing P.
pushing path.
Yeah, oh, pushing path. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was pushing P. I was pushing P. And like very kind of perhaps overly tenaciously trying to make like one thing fit, like
Yeah,
trying to just I'm like, I'll just push this quant researcher thing. And it's like to do that, I'll just keep learning a little bit more linear algebra, a little bit more statistics, a little bit more coding every day, every day, every day. And
yeah,
things not working out and slowly getting more and more high strung. And as it changes day by day, it's just a DX, right? It's just a little itty bitty increment.
yeah,
I didn't realize though, how much I guess it had weighed on me in the whole until I went to England for the graduation, right?
yeah,
Um, and there, that's kind of when some of my friends were like, "Yo, dude, like you're stressed the fuck out, man. You gotta like calm down." I didn't even kind of realize it.
yeah. That's
Just kinda
weird.
operating as normal, but what felt like normal for me now, Uh, and I guess sometimes it takes other people, to show you things, right? Because at home, I'm just there, it's me and my dad and my mom, and I guess, you know, maybe I'm not being completely open with them about how stressed I am, or I don't even realize it, right? They just look at me each day, and each day maybe I get a little bit more stressed, and they can't really tell because it's kinda like the hair growing out or something,
Yeah,
it's just so slow, you don't see the progress. But seeing that, snapped me awake, hearing that and being somewhere where like completely different, but also taken back to an earlier time, right? Because that took me back to my degree during that master's at Oxford, right? And
yeah,
kind of, I guess, transported me back to a mental state before I was worrying about, my skills, my relevancy, my self-worth relative to the job market and the world, right? And before kind of getting a bit crushed on
yeah.
that
You
front.
haven't found you haven't gotten heard back from the jobs.
No, I did, but it was just all rejections even after those final rounds that went very well.
Fucking Christ. I don't know what to tell you, man. This is, I mean, you are a high skill person. I'm sorry. I mean, it's damn. It's I don't get it. I don't know if you have any theories, but that's nuts, man. That's yeah.
I over prepared, bro. I over
There's
prepared.
no dude, how
Because
did you
no,
over prepare? What do you
because on
mean,
this
bro?
one, I mean, I destroyed every interview question, right? Like even the coding, which I used to fail, I destroyed that. They asked me about, these regularized regression methods. I had multiple proofs. I'm like, I'll give you both just for fun. PCA, I give you both derivations just for fun. About this stock picking algorithms, I'm like, here's multiple interpretations, and I get on the call with the head of the team who has 20 years experience, right? And he looks at me and he's like, "I have like two problems with you. Like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
one is right, the you have an extra decimal point on your resume. You probably can't be that precise in finance. And second thing is like Did you basically, it was like, "You're overqualified." I'm like, "I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it." I sent out, 200, 250 job apps. Most of the time, I'm just getting crushed by PhDs, and here it is, the same job, and this guy is worried about that. I think they were worried about retention. I think they kinda had a
Sure.
feeling that I might leave because on my final round interview, I had 3 interviews, but I was asked, like, 5 times, like, "Would you stay? Would you stay?" Something like this, and I'm like, "Yeah, of course, man. Of course, bro."
Mm.
And I think maybe they were a bit worried about that. So it's kinda crazy. At this point, I don't really know quite why things are not quite working out, but, you know, it
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
But it's I guess beside the point, but being in this blender, right, sending out apps, then you get like an automated response that gives you like a coding test, and then you just get on an interview, and then it's like there's no like, hi, how are you? It's just like, okay, like if I have, a matrix with these eigenvalues, it's just right into it. Between the automated responses and the automatically generated tests based on an AI resume screening, and then you just get, like, rejected with no explanation. It's a bit dehumanizing. So I guess I didn't realize how much that had weighed, right? But then going back there for the graduation unlocked something in a very strange way. And I don't know, like, what it was. Like, I don't actually know, like, concretely what happened. Maybe it was seeing the friends, maybe it was being back in that city, maybe it was just somebody telling me I'm stressed and to chill out, but like, really chilled out, you know? And things are a little bit trickier now than before. The finances are a bit tight. I still don't have a job. I'm here in Amsterdam with my girlfriend, but I have like no money. Right? I'm just like, I don't know. Should I flash that? Oh wait, okay. I didn't. I showed the. I didn't show the back.
Yeah.
Uh, Living off this, I couldn't work for a month. And then I got a. Now I see a student loan that's going to be in default
Think we
in
gotta
2 weeks.
start monetizing the podcast, bro. I
I know,
think this
honestly.
is
Yeah, so all these pressures and still no job, right? And I only have 1 lead. But, I don't care. Somehow I don't care.
Really?
And I'm still set to do the work. Saturday, we went to the library in Amsterdam and sent by the central train station, and we worked until closing, which is 8 p.m. And today we worked, and it's Sunday, and on Friday we worked, and tomorrow we're gonna
What
work
are you
too, and
working on?
interview prep and going through some textbooks. I have a few textbooks that I brought with me that I'm going through, and I have like 3 textbooks on my computer that I read from my computer, but then I also go through these and I also practice coding, you know. So I'm doing the gauntlet, and it's not like I don't care, and now I'm just like sitting around and doing nothing. It's like I care, and I put in the time, but there's no more stress. It's just like executing but
Mm.
without worry. I guess because I know I'm doing the things I have to be doing. I don't know. It's a very weird thing to have like all this impending pressure
Yeah.
that is kind of ready to implode in 2 weeks, and yet I'm
Why in
keeping
2
going.
weeks?
Well, that's just when the loan will go into default, and then it'll not. It'll be a bit of a
I'm
tricky
sorry.
situation. Though.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, dude. I mean, look, the universe has a funny way of making all things even, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, dude. I mean,
Sometimes you just gotta
it's
laugh, man.
just odd, man. It's just I can't believe you haven't found a job. I like your attitude, and I guess at some point you're like, well, the everything is mounting, everything is piling up. I guess at some point you realize that stressing out over it doesn't do anything. Stressing out beyond what you can do, what is in your control,
Yeah.
does not accomplish anything. Which is why a lot of people, I think, when they are in high stakes situations, high stress situations, they are weirdly calm.
Yeah.
I think for you, it's got to be like a combination of things. I think you're well aware of what is important in life, and you just had this graduation. You were, surrounded by family and friends, which is the most important thing. But maybe also, you don't really, this is not your, because we can talk about what we were talking about before we started recording about like wondering whether the work that you're doing or what you're working towards is going to make a difference you want to see in the world, you know? So
Yeah.
maybe something about that,
Yeah.
or maybe you are in a sort of like maybe the stress will come in a few days or in a few
Yeah.
weeks, and you're just this is the calm before the storm. I don't know what it is, but I think just practically speaking, it's probably best to not stress out, to be
Yeah.
able to control that. Or
You know, if I mean, you're absolutely right, and I think if there was maybe one if I was to try to understand this, because it's very difficult for me to understand how this is possible, given that kind of things are worse for me than they were, uh, I guess on paper a couple months ago. You know, I think maybe the big thing was that I was like reminded about like what actually matters, right? Because when I was at home and I was just doing the job apps and learning how to code, the only things that mattered to me was this binary thing, right? Like, did I get this email back from them or did I not? And then in the coding wise, it's just like, did I get through the chapter? Did I learn a concept or not? And that was kind of it. I felt like I was at home for eternity, that my parents were always there. And so that because I'm at home forever, just you kind of take it for granted a little bit. And going out there and seeing my mom show up for the graduation, my aunt and Olin came and Alicia came and them all supporting me, them kind of reminding me that this is an epic milestone. It's not just something that like casually happened, which is sort of how I look back at it now. It's like, oh yeah, that happened. Seeing like having, like 20 friends show up to me for me at the pub after graduation, people coming in that lived in London, coming in, Olin flew in from France for this, Alicia flew in from Amsterdam, my aunt from Germany. These people, Donald's parents came from, Ireland and like all these people being there, I guess, like, that kinda just reminded me, like, "Dude, this is so much more important than any of this
I see.
stuff."
Okay, I
Like,
see.
these people, like, are here for me. My family's here for me, there's love, and I think there was that reminder, and then the morning after everybody left and I could kind of let go of being the shepherd and getting everybody to see all parts of the city and, kinda take trying to and going around and talking to everybody and making sure that I kind of executed my responsibilities as, like, a good host. I went to university parks in the pouring rain, and I was not adequately dressed. I had tennis shoes on, It's pouring rain, and I'm walking through the park, very contemplative, and I came across the Tolkien bench, which is where Tolkien used to sit when he would, write about and think about Lord of the Rings. And it just looks out on this little patch of river in this kinda and it's not, like, impressive. Right? It's not necessarily like an impressive
Mhm.
spot. It's like little river, and then there's just like a couple of trees, and it's not like you have this super expansive view or you're up on top of a hill, right? It's just this very casual spot. A tree on each side, a bench, little river, some shrubs, and some trees. You would expect it maybe to be more. And I stood there and I kind of imagined Tolkien there. And I imagined, what it was like to create a world in his head. And I started to try to create a world in my own head of spider people and humans and, like kind of a mythos myself. And I stood there thinking about it for 20 minutes and it was like I was in rapture in those 20 minutes. I forgot about the cold. I didn't notice the rain. I'm just looking at this and all the colors are super bright and the river is beautiful and it looks perfectly idyllic to me. And then after like 20 minutes, I kind of snapped out of it because I was like, oh shit, I should smoke a cigarette. But, and I think that it would take me out of it a little bit. But I think there's something about that as well, standing there. And I feel like I communed a little bit with Tolkien by the bench, and I imagined perhaps the things that mattered to him. And they were not all these sorts of things. And coming off of the back of the time with family and friends and kind of remembering the beauty of these other pursuits in life to create a world like I know you so love to do and
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
things. I think all of those kind of synthesized and it's just standing in the rain and feeling that and seeing nature and the birds and everything and feeling all of that somehow just made everything else all the worries, I should say,
Yeah,
not everything else, but all the worries just feel kind of
yeah,
irrelevant. Yeah.
yeah. I have a lot to say, but before I do that, I just wanna, for the purposes of the episode, um, so just very quickly, I'll make it very obvious, very
Are we
clear.
doing the Blue Chew sponsor right now? Yo, 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 guys. This episode is brought to
Are you pushing P? Um, all right. So we had the week of May 26th to June 1st. I don't think we addressed that. And you gave yourself a check mark for record with Isaac. Why would you do that? We literally did not. So I'm gonna give you an X there. I'm sorry. Uh,
Wait a second.
uh, is that right?
Where is this?
You sent it to me through email. You had
Wait, wait,
recorded with
wait.
Isaac.
No, no, no. Wait, wait, wait. But wait. I did that though. I did that though. I know that
What?
revelation was for the. I did talk about that, right? I don't know if it's just, maybe I somehow put a Sunday goal for Monday, but I that was important to me. I talked about right how it was
Because
difficult.
that was for Sunday. We talked about the week of May 19th through May 25th. We talked about that. And then we were going to do another recording for next week, but we ended up not doing it.
For 25th. No, but my revelation came on the 22nd, so we definitely talked about that.
So what did you send me? We didn't record that week.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, make that an X.
But anyway, so yeah, May 26th to June 1st, we got 23 out of 33. I got 8.5 out of 11, and Steven got 14.5 out of 22. Um, so then the week of June 2nd through June 8th, we decided to take a break to avoid the burnout. We can talk a little bit about what why we took a break. And so I think I think you tell me what you think. This episode will be best served if we talk about looking forward, let the break be the break. Um, and we can talk about what we're thinking about, what we're going to do, so on and so forth. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think makes sense.
So yeah, again, May 26th to June 1st, we got 23 out of 33. Okay. Um, June 2nd through June 8th, we took a break, and now we're jumping back into it. Today is June 8th. Um, so the week of June 9th through June 15th, we have these goals. But um, before we talk about these next week goals, I want to respond to all the stuff you said. Um, uh, yeah, man. Because I was so last week I was down in Williamstown, I guess up and to the right, in Williamstown. That was a whole week I spent with Alice and with Nico. Saw Nico a few times. God, I can't even remember what I did. I mean, I read. I was reading every day, but you know, I think it was all about what it meant to leave Yale. So yeah, I have some stuff to talk about. I have to talk about Williamstown and being here with the family, but I guess to summarize and to respond, it's like the things we care about change sometimes dramatically, right? Like a few weeks ago, all you could think about were the applications and the job and the studying, and that was your life, that was your focus. And now this big change, right? Um, Now that all seems it's still important, but it's not taking nearly as much space in your mind. And I think the same for me. Um, I guess I don't know, man. I was ready to leave Yale, and like I said before, I was so homesick. I was so homesick. I missed my family so much. So while I was at Williamstown, it felt like a nice in between, right? A nice transitory place, between Yale and California. I spent time with Alice. We talked. I hung out with a good number of old people, and I would ask them advice. I was like, yo, if you were my age, when you were my age, this is what I asked them. I would ask them, is there something you thought was important and it ended up not being important? And is there something you thought was not important that ended up, well, I think I already said those things. So, was there something important that it wasn't, and vice versa? So I got some advice, and these are people that were, 80s and so on. I saw Miller, I saw Goldmacher, and I saw
He's
Paul.
there?
Yeah, yeah, Goldmacher. And I saw, dude, he told me some crazy, crazy stories because his parents fled the Soviet Union and crazy stories. But anyway, and I saw Paul Park as well, my thesis advisor. Um, and I got some advice. I should maybe have it closer in mind, but some of it was very cliche things like take a chance, start a conversation with a stranger, get lost, you know. An old lady told me, "Your life is your voice, or your voice is your life." I must have some here. Um, the risk, the risks you take in your 20s don't matter, um, which is interesting. Um, and there's another one. I think Paul Park told me like it's very common for people who have a creative passion to have a job on the side. So it's not like one or the other. It's not, all or nothing. And then I think one of the ones that affected me the most, for no good reason, for, subjective reasons, confirmation bias, is I was telling one of the old ladies, Alice's friend, that, I'm going to California because I just feel so homesick. I want to see my family and I can't wait to see them. And she said, "Follow that." She said, maybe she told me, "You feel that for a reason." That's what I understood. She's like, follow that urge. And in my head, it's funny because the way my head works, I'm like, I get superstitious, and I'm like, oh, what if the universe is telling me to go home because a tragedy is impending? You know, that's the way I look at it. But not that it's not like an obsessive thought, right? This is all to say, spent beautiful time in Williamstown, spent time with Alice, had some conversations. We talked about death as well. At some point, we were out eating ice cream in her porch, a really nice place. And she said, "You know what? I could die happy right now, out here eating ice cream." And I wanted to explore that. And she said, she's lived a good life. And she was telling me about how her father passed away. And, maybe it's not my place to share here in public, but it essentially, or maybe that's fine. Um, it was just a sudden death for her father, um, in a hospital. And essentially, the message she gave me was that she had lived a happy life and she was not scared of death. And, it's always obviously a little unsettling to hear old people talk about death because they always talk about it in stride. But I don't know what I guess I don't truly remember what I was thinking about at that moment, but it felt really nice, comforting to hear her talk about it. Somebody, I think spending so much time with older people, it made me fear that I would wake up one day and life has passed me by. And I hate to think that. I hate that feeling. Because to me, life is not slow. That sorry, to me, life is not quick. Life is not fast.
Mhm.
I hate it when people say like, "Oh, this last year passed by, in 5 minutes or whatever." I'm like, then you haven't been fucking living because it's been long.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. It just hearing people talk about death, it does something to you. I don't know what it is. It just does something to you. And maybe it reminds you of what's important, you know? So then, I came home. I came home. It was a nice flight, very comfortable flight. I think this is a funny aside. I was in the flight, sitting there, whatever. Some lady next to me, um, she got moved up because she was with her kid and they were sitting in the wrong seats, whatever. Wasn't a big deal. They moved her up the plane, whatever. Then the plane takes off, and I'm trying to sleep, you know.
Mhm.
I took melatonin, I popped a Melly,
Yep.
I popped a Profi, popped a Maggie,
Mhm.
I popped
Mhm.
A Gandhi as well, ashwagandha. I popped a few things to escape.
Mhm.
Um, there were some seats back there because it was a pretty empty flight, which I think
Mhm.
has to do with this new ID requirement. But a row of seats in the back, completely empty, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to this lady, and I'm like, well, fuck, I can lay down, whatever, right? So plane takes off,
Yeah.
whatever. So I just move all my shit to that row, a couple of seats back.
Mhm.
And then I think a guy saw me do that, and he did the same because the row on the right was also empty.
Yep.
Great. So, and I laid down and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. This is going to be a great flight. The flight attendant comes and he's like, very nice guy. He's like, hey, I'm going to ask you to move back to your seat because this is an upcharge. So, and I
What
was
airline are you on, bro?
JetBlue,
Mm.
JetBlue. And I was like, something felt very wrong about that because it's affecting nobody. That's pretty much it. It's affecting nobody, and you want me to
Yeah.
move because I didn't pay more, even though it's empty? It just felt so contradictory to what I believe in about
Yeah.
corporations. So I moved back to my seat, and the guy told the same thing to the old guy who moved to the empty row, and he moved. And then so I went back to my seat, defeated, and I was like, "This is unacceptable. I can't do this." Like, it was such cognitive dissonance, I think I'm using that correctly.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "I'm just letting a corporation, uh, prohibit me comfort that is for free and that would affect nobody." So
Mhm.
I kept thinking in my head, "Okay, I can't just sit in my seat. I can't. Yeah, I would not be me if I did this."
Uh-huh. Okay.
So I was like, "Okay, I can either just go back and be like, 'Make me,' or I can
Uh-oh.
talk to him and just make something up, right?"
Yeah.
So what I ended up
You gonna tell him you have ligma?
I I did, I was like I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, man." I was like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna level with you, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel very sick. I don't feel well, and I wanna lay down. Now, I saw you moved that mother and her child way up, and that's an upcharge. So, what's up?" And he was like, "Okay, okay, follow me." And he put me way up, empty row, and it was perfect.
What?
Put me way it was even better. And, every time he passed by, I had to act sick, like I was about to shit myself or something. But I still enjoyed the flight, and it was the best flight I've ever had, I think, because it was like 6 hours just laying down. And it felt good because I was like, "Man, this is good. This is exactly what I wanted." Anyway, just goes to show. Um, but now to talk about being home, man, dude, being home it's something else, man. I haven't taken any supplements since I've been here. I haven't taken any supplements.
Dude, I like how that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Well, because it's like I take my supplements to like regulate my mood or whatever, and these are like all natural stuff like lion's mane, fucking vitamin C, vitamin D, omega. But I haven't taken any, and I haven't taken any supplements to sleep either.
Mhm.
I take my magnesium, ibuprofen, ashwagandha, whatever. And I've been sleeping so much, like fucking like 9, 10 hours every day.
Yep.
And, just hanging out with my family. I've had a couple of arguments with my parents. And like we were talking about before we started recording, I can see how do I put this? The stress taking a toll on my parents, and they have been having they haven't been getting along super well. And honestly, who fucking would? But anyway, you know why the stress is, whatever. That's not the point. Um, being able to spend time with my brothers, hugging them, talking to them, laughing with them,
Mhm.
taking my sister to work, buying them nice things, hugging my mom. It's just so beautiful, man.
Mhm.
It's so beautiful, and it almost makes me feel like I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, like at some point in your life, a certain set of things matter so much, to do this and do that, get the job and do the thing and finish the song, whatever.
Yeah.
And then at another point in your life, which might be just weeks later or days later, you're like, man, the most important thing is this. Like the fact that I will be able to go to work, make good money if I do it correctly, and Saturday just drive down here and spend time with them and do things. Would I like to spend more time with them? Yeah, I wish I could just be around all the
Mhm.
time. But these are sacrifices we must make. Um, but just the fact that I could do that, man, it's fucking awesome, man. It's fucking great. Um, yeah.
Interestingly, in two very different ways, we learned the same lesson. I think there's a title of a
Yeah.
podcast in there somewhere.
Okay. We'll ponder on that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's nice, man. I don't know. I guess I don't want to sound like I'm trying to fill out a word count here by saying the same thing again and again. I wonder what it is. Is it some sort of intellectualized love that we have, like philosophize, like is it like we've come to the conclusion through intellectual endeavors, through intellectual processes that family is the most important thing? Or is this just something so innate and fundamental about human existence to love one's family and I guess friends as well? You know, not that it really matters because it's just as real, but yeah, I'm just so happy, man, that I can be with family, and I wish it could last forever. I am plagued by little realizations here and there that, this is all temporary, as all things are, but
Mm.
it feels good that at least for now, I can be home. And despite all the stress and fear that is plaguing my family and a lot of other people, um, maybe I can make it a little bit better. And that's meaningful. And actually get a job and help out my family,
Yeah.
unlike other people.
Yo.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm cooked, bro. I'm cooked. Uh,
I had to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No,
I
bro.
was so free. I was so free, dude.
No, and I want to say something to you. And I know it feels maybe silly to say this to you, but I just feel like this is all just for you becoming a very sick origin story. Like
Mm,
this time that you're going through, which seems like I don't know, stressful, or maybe now you've zened out, but I have no doubt that you're gonna be extremely successful, and I don't say that just to make you feel better. You're gonna be extremely successful. Um, So, yeah, I have no doubt about that, you know? So this is you'll be fine. You'll be just fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you're right, man, because I used to view this time strictly in terms of the outcome, you know? It's like, do I achieve the outcome I want or not? And that like the metric of whether this time is good or bad was like solely dependent upon that. But that's a bit silly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I think we'll be okay.
I
I
think so
think.
too. But the question is, will we be okay for next week? Let's find
Okay,
out.
I was just gonna say that. All right, so I guess this is where we put the goals. Um, I have them right here. I'll put them there. I'll read mine. I
Yep.
have 12 goals for the week of June 9th through June 15th. I want to go hard at the gym and
Hmm.
stretch 5 times. Yeah, I move Wednesday so I can work out that day. And then Wednesday through Sunday, I can perfectly just do some workout. Um, Quick and cold showers. I've been taking a lot of hot showers, which has been really nice. Yeah, no porn or wanking once work begins. I'll leave that there. Yeah, that's definitely been. I mean, they've been pretty good, but.
Yeah. So you got a couple days to just destroy.
You see, this the once work begins is crucial here. It's highly strategic, and it does a lot of the work.
Right.
Once work begins. So I have 3 days to just obliterate my penis. I want to get settled in this new place I'm going to live at. Be ready. I have my life sheets, so it's those things that we talked about. My habits, my goals, my manifestation. And I also want to pull out my whiteboard. I brought it with me. It's all ready. Keep phone away. I think these past few days, man, it's been fucking a little nutty. Just I don't know. Just seeing all the stuff that's happening in LA and all over the country. I've been glued to the phone. And, you can argue it either way, like, well, you should probably stop. But on the other side, it's like, well, you need to be aware of what's happening.
Mhm.
But anyway, I need to read, start the
Mm.
reading.
So wait,
Very,
just
yeah, yeah.
for on that. I mean,
Oh,
then
yeah, I guess you're
what
right.
does
I
that
should. Yeah, yeah. I see what
goal
you're.
actually mean? Right? Does that
Yeah,
mean like it's like don't doom scroll or like I can have as
yeah,
much time as I want
sure.
to read the news? But I
Yeah,
think
no,
I
you're
think
right.
mine gets better.
I should talk. I was thinking of just reading them, but yeah, I should just might as well just talk about them. Yeah, so, well, gym, whatever, cold showers, no porn or wanking, get settled and ready, life sheets, and the whiteboard. That's just like, I guess my goal there is to start out my routine. I know that it might not be a perfect week, back,
Mhm.
you know, once I start work, but the plan is to just put all the pieces in line so that the week after that, I am just fucking ready to go. And with my routine, which will be very simple, just wake up early, either read or go to the gym. I'm leaning more towards wake up, read, get that out of the way, and
Yeah.
just gym, so on and so forth. But keep phone away. That just means no, not that I'll have a chance really. It just means don't obsess over what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
I think that'll be what it is, because these past few days I have been obsessing. So I think it'll just be a matter of like, I need my phone to work. I need my phone around, but to not be obsessing over the news and politics.
So do you think that the same way that your beard was sacrificed to a higher purpose, do you think that do
My
you
purposes are beyond your comprehension.
indeed. Indeed they are. But you still look handsome though. But, do you think that maybe you should just, like, get a flip phone? and, like, leave your phone at home and just
I
can you just do
can't.
work off of a flip phone or
No, I can't. I can't. I have thought about that, like, hey, have a device, maybe some tablet or iPad or whatever, that I have all my stupid stuff at, my Instagrams, my New York Times, my Reddits, my all that stuff. And for my phone, just literally work stuff, phone, camera. That's it. I have thought
Mhm.
about that. And I would like to start making some money first. But yeah, for sure. I can't quite do a flip phone, unfortunately, with the work I'm going to be doing, which, is unfortunate. Um, but there are ways to work around that.
Yep.
I just, it requires an amount of money that I need to make some money.
Yeah, okay, well, let's see how this week goes for you
Yeah.
on this front, and then we
Yeah.
can reevaluate. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
could
but for sure.
minimalist phone on
Oh,
weekdays
I
would just
wish,
require
man.
one device as well. I mean, like, you could just, delete that stuff during the week or something like that, but
I could. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes.
think about it, right?
I will
Let's see
think about it. I will
how it
think.
goes. Yeah,
Let me put it here. I'm gonna just put think. Think about
it's a good thing
this.
to do, yeah.
About a long-term solution. Long-term change.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I
Uh
like the idea of reading first because it's kinda like if that's the thing you least look forward to, right, then, like
they're good books. I'm reading some really cool stuff about it's a book by Frederick Jameson. Not that you would know. Um but
oh.
no, dude, I'm fucking understanding like 40% of what he's fucking writing. But it's super interesting. It's about science fiction and about
Is it
utopias.
Archaeologies of the Future,
Yeah.
Marxism and Form? Oh, nice, nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry. Sorry. It is archaeologies of the future. Did
yeah,
you look it up right now?
yeah.
It is archaeologies of the future.
That actually is a dope title,
It's a
bro. I'm
sick
gonna
title,
say
and it's so interesting, and it really is interesting. Yeah, but Frederick Jameson, he's too cracked, dude. He's too cracked. Um,
okay, wait, just as an aside, like, is it worth reading? Because like, I'm getting clickbaited really hard by the title.
I think so. The first half is like theories about utopia, and I mean, here's my thing about just very quickly about cultural theory and critical theory. I think it's cool when it's applied to society and to talk about culture, religion, whatever you want. And,
Mhm,
the main tools that people use nowadays is like, Marxism, um, psychoanalysis, uh, what's it called? Hegelian dialecticism. I think those are the main tools. Oh, obviously feminism and all that. Feminist theory. But it's like when you're applying that to literature, I personally don't really see the bigger purpose of that.
mhm.
I don't think you can, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm not reading deep enough. Maybe I cannot appreciate it enough. To answer your question, I think I don't think you will get much out of it. Yeah, because it talks a lot about science fiction. Super interesting. Super, super interesting. I just think there's other critical theory, cultural theory books that would that are much more in direct link and conversation with, what's going on.
Mhm.
That's my opinion.
Got it, okay, thanks.
Um, Reading, yes, I need to read at least 2 hours 4 times this week. Just get up early, read, blah blah blah. Um, I need to do a lot of my to do stuff. I mean, I have to fucking change registration on my car. I have to take it to the mechanic for an alignment. I have to get a haircut. Just a lot of stuff that I've just been completely disregarding.
Mhm,
Resume work, that's very important. Yeah. I want to have a successful work. And the resume work is because, this job that I'm doing now is not forever. I just want to be in a good place for the job market, which I mean, if you can't get a job, I don't even wanna imagine what my odds are. Um, Successful work week, that just means getting there. I'm gonna see some old friends. I'm gonna be working with the guy, good friend, and we talked things out because we had a I don't wanna call it a falling out. I'm a very dramatic person and sensitive, as you know, but, he apologized, so now we're good. But I started the system with him, you
This
know?
system
Yeah,
with Mr. G?
with, JJ.
Okay.
No, 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 that's somebody else. That's Williamstown, East Coast. I'm talking about my solar buddy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I started the system with him, and then he gave up, whatever. Um, so you
But
are
you're
his.
you're back on it with him now.
No, 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 no.
I thought you were cheating on me.
Dude, I wouldn't. No, dude. If he wants to, I'll be like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I found a better and thicker broad. No, but it'll be cool working with these guys. It'll be my friend Tyler and JJ. I worked with them. They were my managers. They'll be my managers again. It'll be cool. And I appreciated JJ's apology. It was nice. Um, I want to start an LLC for tax purposes. I need to do
Mhm.
that. And then family time on the weekend, man. Just I'm here. I'm in California. I live here now. I was talking to my mom the other day. It's like I live here now. I am here. Um, so I'm excited. I'm very excited. So it's just this week for me is like getting back into it,
Mhm.
picking up on some loose ends that I need to finish, prioritize, and just hit the ground running. I feel recovered. I feel rejuvenated, regenerated, or whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, ready to go.
Yeah.
But
Excellent, man.
as you said, with this new sort of reminder that what the important thing is,
Yeah.
who the important people are.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a breakdown of your goals? 10 goals right
Yes.
there.
Yeah, well, 30 wasn't working, neither was 20, so let's try 10.
You did okay though. You got 14.5 out of 22. Not great, obviously, but you know, you deserve some credit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah, the percentage-wise, it's not good, but it is a lot of things that were accomplished, so,
exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, this I told you before we popped on the call that I was trying to figure out how to wrap up the goals. Maybe we'll circle back to that. But for now, it looks very much like my idea of a schedule Monday through Friday, trying to keep myself aligned to that. Right. So I want to wake up early and get out of bed by 8. Like I don't need to not snooze the alarm, whatever. I'm here with Bay, right? If we cuddle a bit in the morning and set the alarm for 7:30 and get out at 8, I'm fine with that, right?
Nice.
So then she has a morning routine that she was doing before I got here. I mean, I got here Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday. I mean, it was a bit messed up, but she would wake up 7:15 and do breath work, meditation, affirmations, read Marcus Aurelius, and then get ready and do breakfast. And I think that that just goes down
Is she
hard.
turning into you?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
I know this is like a student outdoes the master, right? Because she's just doing all the stuff that I was like, "This is sick," and then I stopped doing it. She's doing
And
it, so now she's inspiring me to get back on
that's
it. So that's
beautiful.
really
That's
dope, right?
beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm very happy to join her on that.
That's
Then
awesome.
I want to be in a good place for work at 10:30.
What
Just
does
good
that mean?
place because like most days I want to like get out of the apartment, like find a nice cafe, find a library, I'm in Amsterdam, like I'm not here all the time. Like it's something where it's
Yeah,
like, okay, I'm
definitely.
working, but let me enjoy the city a little bit, get a nice bike ride along the canals, right?
That's awesome.
So then for the work, which will take me, I don't know, let's say like 10 till 5. My hope is I have that program with my mentor.
Yeah.
He basically has not been progressing me until I finish his textbook, and I just haven't been finishing the textbook
Yeah.
um, because with the interview prep, like this was not super relevant. It's like I don't need to like manipulate data frames. Like I have like I'm a question on something completely different. So I put this aside for a bit, but At this point, I just have to do it to do it, yes, but also, like, I don't want him to, like, lose faith a little bit as well, you know? Want him to
Yeah,
see that, like, I care. He built this whole system for me. So, the textbook needs to be finished. There's a little bit over 400 pages left. Each chapter is about 40 pages. So if I do 2 chapters a day, I finish the textbook. So,
let's but be realistic, because you've been in that position before where,
yeah,
like, it was way too much.
yeah, yes.
Do you think this is realistic?
So I was trying to do 1 chapter a day of that other textbook, which I think the material that, like, derivatives, options, and whatever textbook, the thing was, 1, that the chapters were much more dense, and 2, every chapter at the end had, like, 30 exercises, and I would do every exercise.
Mm.
So these ones, it's pretty readable, and there's no exercises. So, I mean,
Okay.
when I was doing the other chapter,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the exercises took at least 60% of the time. So,
Damn. Okay, great.
I think it's doable. It's a slight stretch, but I need to finish the textbook by Sunday.
Is that
So,
an expression, "sharpen my elbows"?
yeah, yeah, like sharp elbows, kind of to I don't know. I guess nudge your way in,
Interesting.
push your way through the crowd. So the program title that he gave me, it's like sharpening elbows. So I've kind of
I
leaned
see.
into this. Yeah, so this 2 chapters a day is slightly aggressive, but if I have to read a little bit on Saturday or Sunday to have finished the textbook,
Sure.
then sure. And if
Sounds
I'm a
good.
chapter or 2 off, okay, so be it. But
I
it's a
think
goal.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So reading 400 pages about coding is one thing. Being
You're
able to
doing
actually code is another.
Kegels?
Not Kegels. Although I maybe should do those too. This um,
No, I'm kidding.
Kaggle, it's like leak code, but for data science. It's just a way to practice
Damn.
coding.
Okay.
So if I do
5.
1 hour coding a day, I'm happy. And then I want to do 5 job apps. Dude, I mean, I'm probably cooked on quant research, to be
No.
honest.
Oh,
Well, it's just
really?
there's just like not there's a refractory period. So I like can't really apply. I'm so ready now. I'm so ready. But unfortunately, I applied when I wasn't ready. Right. So I
Well, wouldn't this be the perfect time to apply for a quant research?
I reapplied um again like 6 months after I had applied the first time, but a lot of them are 1 year cooldowns. So
What does that mean?
like you can't if you failed an
Oh,
application,
I
you have
see.
to wait like a full year to reapply. So
Fuck, okay. Well, you
yeah.
know best, you know best.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some opportunities. I had somebody reach out to me today, actually, from a firm, and asked me if I was interested. As a Williams alum, it's just like So that was cool. As a Sunday,
That's
they
great.
reach out to me. I love it. I'm happy, but I can't keep pushing something that hasn't worked. I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to keep sending these apps, but I need to diversify my portfolio a
And
little
what are
bit.
you thinking of applying to?
I'm thinking of applying to something that will set me up for a PhD. So
Damn.
yeah, whether or not I do the PhD, look, it is a different thing, but for a long time I've talked about this neuroscience bio stuff, but I have
Yeah.
no experience in it. I saw from a super prestigious lab, like a research assistant position that was like, hey, we want STEM people that can code,
Mm.
and we're going to take
Ooh.
you, and you're not really going to be doing any of that. You're going to do that for the data, but we're going to teach you how to run the actual experiments. You're going to slice up a brain, you're going to do the EEG
No.
scans, you're going to do all the experimental fine tuning stuff that I would need normally a degree to be able to learn. And then you'll run your math and you'll run your models and you'll run your computer on it. So you do your full pipeline because this is a lab that most people are using AI to
Yeah,
understand neuroscience, right?
yeah,
People throw big neural networks at the brain to try to models of the brain to try to understand the brain. What these guys want to do is they want to use the brain to build better neuroscience, to build
okay,
better AI,
yeah.
right? Because I mean, we have neural networks in AI, which is like the biggest thing, right? Because of the brain, and even though neural networks are shit in some fundamental sense at mimicking actually what the brain does, they perform very well. But
Hey,
if you
man, anything with AI, go into
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, I think it would be promising, right?
Ah, that sounds awesome, dude.
So this is like the ideal thing because to do something very neuroscience heavy, I applied at the beginning to a lot of neuroscience things, but I was shut down because they're like, dude, you just don't have
Yeah.
this experience. So something like this would be, I mean, really fucking dope to land. So I want to try to positions like this, and I have this idea of neuroscience as this thing that exists and is epic because I've listened to Peterson and Huberman, and I'm like, this is
Yeah.
dope, right? But I don't really have any the hands-on, right? I might totally hate it or I might totally love it. I mean, rather than keeping to putting it on a pedestal, like, it would be cool to try it.
Yeah.
And something like this, it doesn't pay the way I wanted it to pay, but I think
Hey,
one thing I've
man. I mean, this is bigger stuff, this is you never know.
yeah. Well, I agree, right? I had this, fixation, I think that I was like, "Hey, I just graduated with a master's in Oxford. I'm relatively smart. Like, I deserve a $300,000 paycheck right now just
Yeah.
because." Right? It's a bit silly, and not like
I
ego, I
see.
guess, but I just my expectations of the world were wrong, right? I thought there's ego mixed in, but really I just had felt the world function differently. So now I'm content, man, thinking if I have to take, almost minimum wage for a year, but that gets me that experience that I really want and will propel me forward, then it's worth it. I don't need the paycheck today when I can
Yeah.
have success tomorrow, right? So
Yeah.
things like that, is what I'll look at job wise.
Hey, yeah. I got a lot to say, but just, it's interesting to hear. It's interest I complain about, doing the PhD and all that, so many times, but there's a lot of people my age that are thinking, among my friends, well, not that many to be fair, but like that are thinking of like starting a PhD, and it's strange to me. It's like people that have been living in the real world want to go into
Yeah.
this academia, but that I've been in academia want to go out into the real world, and it
Yeah.
just seems like the real world. I mean, it seems scarier than I make it then maybe it seems scarier than maybe I'm expecting it to be. So, anyway, something to talk about next week,
Yeah.
maybe. Um,
I think it's this two-way delusion, and disillusionment as well. Unfortunately,
yeah,
like I thought because I took a course on linear algebra that like somebody should hire me to use it in a super esoteric way. It's like, well, I've
yeah,
never done it in the esoteric way, so like, why would they
yeah,
ever take me? You wake up a little bit, and I thought I would never do a PhD, right? But now I do it again,
yeah.
and I miss school too. I miss school too because, dude,
Uh,
if I'm gonna do shit,
yeah,
sorry, if I'm gonna do this at home,
you are
like, come
doing
on,
school.
bro.
You are
But
doing school.
but I
You
don't get the
have been
dope
doing school.
parties and the social life and,
That's a
having that
very good point.
environment and working in the libraries,
You've
So
been
it's
doing
like
school without, yeah, that's a good point. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
so, yeah, but we can go more about it and then learn about and slash from interesting people slash things. I I've been pushing this quant research, and I think it's admittedly a cool field because it's something that I know about, and it's been hard to push other directions because I don't quite know so much about them, right? But I like, I think I care about neuroscience, but I don't actually read about neuroscience. I don't actually think about neuroscience. So it's just like a thing that I think is cool. I bought this magazine, or a Popular Mechanic, and it's just updates in neuroscience. And reading about it was super cool. It brought up people that doing sick stuff. It brought up labs. You can look up some of these labs. They have positions, and it's like, whoa, I can be doing something kind of like this, and I'm qualified. So just
You are.
learning is. I would need to learn more about what things can be done in this world, and so that's what that's there for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll blast through exercise and stretch daily. That's kind of obviously evening routine. That's just reading and journaling. And then this last one, Isaac, maybe you could help me on. I didn't want to go over 10, so I was trying to kind of condense this here. Basically, when I de-stressed and I thought, well, what actually matters and stuff. One thing I was remembering about by that Tolkien bench, man, is all the projects that I've wanted to do, right? That have been kind of
Yeah.
frozen.
I mean, me
Oh
too,
man,
man.
and
Me too. I
yeah,
mean, I feel that, man. I was working a little bit on the song today that I've been working on,
yeah.
and it sounds fucking sick. But
Uh,
yeah, man, time is definitely. not super friendly, or is not gonna be super friendly to all these artistic creative projects.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask, how are
Yeah.
you gonna stay on top of it? Because I haven't done anything for a very long time on this, right? So that's why I was like, dude, if I do 15 minutes a day, I'm already beating myself for the whole
Yeah,
past month.
no, for
But I don't
sure.
know. Is this the best way to go about it? Should I have a
I
more
mean,
concrete goal? I don't know.
my plan is this. So I wanna wake up at 6 every day. I wanna wake up at 6, start reading 6:15 maybe, or maybe I should wake up earlier. Um, by 8:30, I think I should be at the gym. 8:30 to 9:30, 9:45. Let's say by 9:50 I'm showered up. Then I have an hour to eat and to prepare for work.
Yeah, yeah,
I go to work. I start driving maybe around 11 or so. The thing is, I'll probably stop working at 8 p.m. and then yeah, it's brutal. These are brutal hours. Um, my goal is to have some time at the end of the day. Um, say, getting back home at around 8:30 or 9. My goal is to spend the thing is, here's what I'm scared of, and here's why it's gonna require I can't really give you an answer right now.
yeah,
I feel like I'm gonna be so fucking tired by the time I get home that
yeah,
I'm just gonna wanna just crash.
yeah,
So, I'm thinking, well, what if I get home at 9, go to sleep by 9:30 or something, maybe by 10, and just wake up like 5:30 so that in the morning I do my reading, my gym, my creative stuff, and then work.
yeah.
I think, but to answer the question, yes, obviously doing a little bit every day is much better than doing nothing, for sure. Even if
Mhm.
it's just 5 minutes, right? Um, that is my goal. That is my goal, to do it that way as well. To spend 1 hour each day working on something creative. My problem, something I have to figure out what I'm going to do about, is that I have a lot of side projects and passions that I need to work on.
Yeah.
Music, my writing, Puddle. You need to, did you read it? No, you didn't read it yet. You need to read it. Puddle, fucking my documentary, stand-up comedy. It's I have so many, and I just I can say something like, "Yeah, you know, I'll dedicate a little bit of time to each thing every day," but it's like, is that I don't know if that's practical. I don't know if that makes a lot of
Mhm.
sense.
Is
So,
that why it didn't feature in the goals list, or are you thinking about adding it because
adding
it's
what?
not in your goals? It's something about creativity. I mean, it's not.
I'm gonna see how it goes this week. I'm gonna see what the
Mm,
schedule is like. I definitely want to dedicate time to it. I just don't know what that'll look like, whether it'll be at the end of the day or before work. And
mhm.
also, how many things can I really realistically work on? Because look, I can just be like, look, I'm working 6 days a week. Let me work on 6 projects so that every day I'm doing something.
Whew.
Does that make sense? Like, Monday I'll do project A, Tuesday project B. Like, over a long period of time, like, I think that would yield good results. So it'll either be a thing of like, I need to narrow down the list of things that I want to work on, or it'll be a matter of, thinking longer term and
Mhm.
just working on these separate things each day. So I don't know what that'll look like, but certainly
Yeah.
it's important to me to work on it,
Yeah.
to
Well,
work
you'll
on my
feel
creative
out this
stuff.
new schedule, right?
Yeah,
And you'll figure out how to
yeah,
optimize once you know, but you
yeah,
don't really know now.
yeah. Um, I like your week, man. And it both feels like you're right. We both have a sort of new Zen state of mind
Mm.
because we've been reminded about what's important, and we can slow down. And sometimes I wonder if to what extent we can notice our frontal lobe developing. I hope mine is fully developed. But I wonder, I guess our brains are fully developed by now,
I
right?
think it's just downhill now, man.
I think it is. I think it is downhill from now. But I don't want to. It's just there's so many things in life, and you think about your family or your career and your passions. Sometimes those are different things, and your academics and your certifications. And there's so many things. And, I'm scared of becoming complacent in any one of them,
Mm,
because if I grow complacent on work, then maybe I'll work more on my passions and my family. But that's important. Work is important right now. If I grow complacent on my passions, or grow complacent on spending time with my family, it's like it's tricky to I just maybe I hope this is making sense. I hope that as I get older, I don't grow complacent
yeah.
in the things that are important to me because it's easy. It's so much easier not to do something. And it's so easy to justify not doing it and to rationalize it, you know. Oh, I didn't work on my song because I'm tired. I'm busy. It's like, yeah, but where did that go? And maybe it's okay. And that is scary.
Uh,
Thinking what I just said right now.
is that like meta complacency? Stuff.
Maybe it's more so rationalizing. Yeah, I guess in a way it's I don't know at what level is it meta, but it is meta because I'm saying complacency is bad, but maybe complacency is not too bad. So I'm being complacent about accepting complacency. So it is meta complacency. So it's not just avoiding complacency, but avoiding the meta complacency is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Name for this episode. What was the thing you were talking about? You said
Those are the things that mattered, right?
things that matter. Is that
I
what it
mean,
was?
things that matter is not a bad title, but
Yeah, dude. I've been fucking God this whole time, dude.
he's got crazy aura, dude. Dude,
What was
it,
it? Manure aura?
Malul,
Malulu.
dude, you look like one of the British boys that's about to deliver me a pack of crispy 5% jewel pods
I
right
might.
after.
Hey, what's up, mate? Hey, bring out the money, mate.
It's not bad.
Um.
It's not bad.
So yeah, what's the title? Episode title.
We got things a big change for both of us. It's changed the perspective on things that matter, and there's a bit of zen that's going on as well.
Zen. I did say Zen twice or thrice. If something comes out to you, just blurt it out loud. But I like things that matter, but I don't like things.
What actually matters? What matters?
What? Can we make it a little bit more sheamy? Like,
Yeah, I was worried it wasn't sheamy enough.
how about new state of matter, Zen?
Yeah. Wait, that guy's actually kind of cooking. He got the double entendre.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm game for that.
Your game? Alright.
Yeah.
New state of matter,
Colon
Zen.
or semicolon?
It would be colon. Or M dash. No, it would be colon. It
Dash.
would have to be colon.
That is a colon, right? The colon is the 2 dots. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, but
but not the red dot.
not Russian red dot. Then
That'll
chapter 8
be
dropping soon.
drop in 2046. Alright, you wanna do Dunks and Bogue?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me just finish recording.
Hey, Dunks and Bogue LLC, dude. Yo,
What?
you have a chance. Dunks and Bogue LLC, bro. You actually have a chance here.
Okay, bet, 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 bet. Alright, I'm gonna sign off.